At the dawn of the 1900s, New York City was a world in motion, a city caught between the age of horse-drawn wagons and the rise of the skyscraper. Today, we're stepping back into the fog of history to remember 10 things from early 1900s New York City that have disappeared forever. The elevated railways. Imagine walking down 3rd Avenue in 1900. Overhead, a maze of steel tracks roared with the sound of steam trains, the elevated railways, or simply the Ls. They shook buildings, rained soot on the streets, and yet they carried thousands of New Yorkers to work every day. By the 1950s, they were dismantled, replaced by the underground subway. And today, if you stand in those same spots, you'll hear nothing but the hum of traffic. Streetcars and trolleys. Before buses ever existed, New York's veins were electric, glowing with the clang and spark of streetcars. Brooklyn alone had hundreds of miles of tracks. You could hop on a wooden trolley for just a nickel, feel the wind through open windows, and watch neighborhoods roll by. But by the mid-20th century, the streetcars vanished, pulled up in favor of buses and cars. Only a few iron tracks remain, buried beneath the asphalt, silent reminders of the city's electric past. The original South Street Seaport. Down by the East River once stood the beating heart of New York's maritime world. In 1900, the South Street Seaport was filled with ships from around the globe, their tall masts like a forest of wooden giants. Fishermen shouted over crates of cod and oysters, but as steamships replaced sails, the docks went quiet. The old seaport you see today is a recreation. The true one faded away with the age of sail. The 5 Points neighborhood. Long before Chinatown or the Civic Center, there was 5 Points, the most notorious neighborhood in Manhattan. It was crowded, chaotic, and alive, home to immigrants from Ireland, Italy, and beyond. It was a place of street gangs, music, and poverty. By the early 1900s, the city cleared it all away, demolishing block after block. Today, nothing remains. No trace, no ruins, just city offices and courthouses built atop its buried history. The original Penn Station. When it opened in 1910, Penn Station was a temple of travel. Sunlight poured through its glass ceilings, and marble columns rose like ancient Rome. It was grand, majestic, and temporary. In 1963, it was demolished to make way for Madison Square Garden, sparking outrage that changed preservation laws forever. They say every New Yorker still mourns Penn Station, even those born long after it was gone. The original Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Before the Empire State Building stood tall, the corner of 34th Street and 5th Avenue held a palace, the original Waldorf Astoria. It was the meeting place of the elite, filled with chandeliers, velvet halls, and music drifting from its grand ballroom. But progress had no mercy. In 1929, the hotel was torn down, and in its place rose the Empire State Building. Coney Island's first Luna Park. Imagine Coney Island at night in 1903, a city of lights on the water's edge. Over 250,000 electric bulbs lit up Luna Park, turning the night sky into a carnival dream. It was the world's first true amusement park, a fantasy land of towers, rides, and laughter. But in 1944, a fire devoured it all. The name Luna Park would return years later, but the original wonder, the real dream, was lost to flame and memory. St. John's Park. Few remember it now, but once in Lower Manhattan stood St. John's Park, a quiet, tree-lined square surrounded by beautiful homes. It was a place of calm, but by the 1920s, progress once again demanded sacrifice. The park was bulldozed to make way for the Holland Tunnel entrance. Where there was once birdsong and children playing, there is only the echo of car horns. horse-drawn carriages, and the lost trades. In 1900, the streets of New York were alive with hooves. Milk wagons, hansom cabs, delivery carts, all drawn by horses. The air smelled of hay, leather, and coal smoke. Blacksmiths, stable hands, and carriage makers filled entire neighborhoods. But between 20 decades, the automobile conquered the city. The clatter of hooves faded, replaced by engines, a sound that still defines New York today. The tenement street life, perhaps the most human loss of all. The street life of old tenement New York. The Lower East Side was alive with vendors, children, and the endless rhythm of daily struggle. Push carts filled every corner, selling fruit, bread, and clothes. Neighbors shouted from windows, music drifted from open doors. But urban renewal, new laws, and gentrification erased that world. The tenement culture that built the city slowly faded into memory. The city we see today was built upon the dreams, noise, and heartbreak of the one that came before it. And if you listen closely, in the rumble of a subway, the echo of a horn, the light on a river at dusk, you can still feel it. The vanished New York of 1900, whispering from beneath the streets. If you enjoyed this journey into forgotten New York, hit like, subscribe, and share this video, because the past deserves to be remembered. Until next time.